IPMNation.com.
Outbreak, sponsored by Central NH Events here on 100.1 The Planet. I am Matt Connerton from IPMNation.com, sitting here at The Planet this week we got two guys from the Buskers. So let's see, we have Craig and Paul. How are you guys doing?
We're great.
We're good.
How you doing?
Doing well. And there is a third member of the group, is that correct?
Yeah, we got Kathy Summer, KZ we call her, lives up in New York State, our violinist, and then we work with a bunch of different drummers, too.
Oh, no kidding.
We work with some really great drummers. We've been very lucky.
Okay. But you guys are like the core of the group?
Yeah.
You're the important ones, right? Because usually whoever doesn't make it for the interview, we kind of make fun of them a little bit behind their backs.
Well,
is that all right?
She lives 7 hours away, so we don't want to be too mean to her.
I guess. Gas is expensive.
Yeah.
Well, guys, welcome to the show this weekend. We'll come back and chat in a minute, but you did bring some tunes with you, so what do you want to play to start the show?
We got a tune of mine called It Could Have Been Worse.
Okay. All right, great. So this is It Could Have Been Worse from the Buskers here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
I got lost in the dark on a rainy night, and I didn't have a flashlight, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. The rain turned to sleet and I slipped and fell. It might have looked funny, but it hurt like hell. Still, it could have been worse, but I got lucky. I might have been gone for good, walking circles in the middle of a deep dark wood, in some strange neighborhood, surrounded by a pack of wolves. You let me use your telephone, you helped me find my glasses and you drove me home. I guess I should have known that you'd make a pretty good nurse. It could have been worse. Was paddling slow up old shit creek when the boat sprang a leak, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. The boat flipped over and I fell in, and I thank the Lord that I can swim, 'cause it could have been worse, but I got lucky. I let the current carry me down the river and out to the open sea. Just one more refugee washed up on the shore. But no country would take me in once they caught a whiff of where I'd been. The prospects looked pretty grim. I got kicked and cursed. Still, it could have been worse. I was playing this song last Friday night. Something just didn't sound right, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. The crowd got restless and somebody booed, and some dumb drunk shouted, started something bruised, and it could have been worse. But I got lucky. This world is full of maniacs. We'll take your dreams and tie them to a railroad track. And once they're gone, they don't come back. So keep cool and don't react. It seems to happen all the time. I get distracted and the words just slip my mind. I have to mumble the last few lines until I get to the end of the verse. It could have been worse, but I got lucky. It could have been worse. Yeah, it could have been worse.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Matt from IPMNation.com here at The Planet, and we got a couple guys from the Buskers. We have Paul and Craig with us tonight. And Craig, you said that was one of your songs, so does that mean you wrote it? Or
Yeah.
Okay. And what's it about? That what was it called again? It could have been worse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could have been better.
Could have been better, but it could have been worse. It started when I broke my back 6 or 7 years ago.
Ooh.
I fell off a ladder and was lying in bed for a while. And
couldn't have been much worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
That sucks.
I was so grateful that
A lot of wah.
I was fine. And I ended up better. My back ended up better than it was before I broke it. So,
oh, really?
But that's neither here nor there. And so I was, it's like, fell off a ladder and I broke my back. What do you think of that, Jack? And things like that. That got lost, that lyric. But the idea of being, grateful got going for that.
Yeah. So how long were you down for the count with that? That's brutal.
It was about 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
It really was. It was one vertebra. Yeah. I teach kids, and when the kids heard I broke my back, they thought, they think of like a toy. When a toy breaks, a leg comes off. So they're thinking,
right?
Oh my God, he broke his back. Like, they should see. Yes, you should have seen the cards they sent me. There was like
really?
I was in two pieces. In the pictures.
Yeah.
So they were shocked when I came back alive.
That's when you got that thing to hang yourself upside down, right?
Oh, what is that? What do they call that?
Inversion table.
Inversion table, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bat boy.
Yeah. Does that work well for you?
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the Buskers, so let's...
I'm just curious. Well, I don't know too many people who've, fallen and broken their backs.
Yeah.
It takes a special person.
The drag was it happened in January, and the roads were so beaten up that when the ambulance was taking me up to the hospital, it was going over every freeze bump
pothole
in the road.
Yeah, that's brutal.
But it makes it hard to play too when you can't really sit.
No, it was awesome. The first couple of gigs, I remember clearly I was doing a jazz trio, and I couldn't carry anything except the music stand for my keyboard because I couldn't take any weight.
Yeah.
Because that put downward pressure on my back. So, like, the rest of the guys turned into real sweethearts. They're carrying all my stuff around for me.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it didn't last, but I enjoyed it while it happened.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been the Buskers? How long has the group been together?
Well, let's put it this way. For most of your listeners, like, their mama and their daddy probably, were dancing at one of our gigs and then conceived them.
Right. Right.
I haven't been here the whole time, though. I've only been in the band for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, he's our newbie.
I'm the young guy here.
Okay. But so how long has the Buskers existed, though? So you're the...
You want dates?
Yeah, roughly.
Circa 1993.
Oh, okay. So almost 20 years then.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's an awesome thing to be able to... work together with people you enjoy playing with that long, especially when it's creative and you're not just playing the same old shit all the time, same old stuff all the time, that is. And
that's right, it's not live. So how did the two of you come to work together? Paul, how did you end up in the group?
We've known each other for quite a while. And when he and KZ needed someone to come in on guitar, they asked me.
Okay.
And I was just thrilled.
Yeah. So is KZ an original member then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the band originally started as a acoustic open mic in Bristol, the restaurant that's been defunct about that long called Abel's. And it was an awesome jam session every Thursday night. And so I found both the original guitarist and Kathy that way, and we found some kind of compatibility and got started that way. It's fun.
So, Paul, when you first came in, was the intention that you were going to become a member of the group, or was it more just kind of sitting in and it happened organically?
They checked me out for a couple, 2-3 years.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years.
I don't remember it like that at all. I remember we had an album we wanted to make, and you joined the band, and within like 2 months we were recording our album Ray's Vacation. So it was sort of trial by fire, a lot of new material for Paul, but he handled it.
So it sounds, Craig, like Paul is a pathological exaggerator. Is that...
Yeah. And then, the next thing I know, I find myself somewhere in Western New York.
Yeah.
On a stage in, where was it? Oswego?
Yeah, which one are we thinking of? Because Kathy's not here, and she does live 7 hours away near practically Canada, the St. Lawrence Seaway area.
Oh, wow.
Our touring has gotten a lot wider than it used to be when we were in New Hampshire, just a strictly New Hampshire band.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Yeah, this summer we're going all the way to the Finger Lakes.
No kidding.
We're doing several gigs in the Rochester area at some point.
Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, well, that's interesting, because I was going to ask you guys how having someone that far away who's part of the group, how that maybe is a challenge, but it sounds like you've turned it into an advantage in terms of the touring and widening the scope of where you can play. So that's actually pretty cool.
Well, it makes the first gig of each session very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, we're close enough friends that KZ will come stay with us, and we'll spend several days working on new material, and Paul and I were basically the rhythm section, so we tighten that up and work on stuff all winter long, and then she comes in like the rock star that she is, and
with a little triangle.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, she's got a Cajun triangle with the curly cues on.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
So she plays violin and mandolin and Cajun triangle and anything that weighs under 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm hauling upright bass and accordion and keyboard and PA system and amplifiers, and I'm not sure it's fair, but well, I remember one gig when she had some back trouble herself, and we were loading up the station wagons after the gig, and we noticed she was standing there and she was putting on lip gloss, and that was it. We've been giving her hell for that ever since then.
Yeah.
So we make her carry her triangle.
Paul, what do you play in the band?
I'm guitar.
Okay. So you're strictly guitar?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, guitar. They keep wanting me to play trombone too, but I've been avoiding that for years.
But you can play trombone?
Yeah.
I'm always jealous of you guys who can play all these instruments. I can play bass. That's all I'm good at. I know a few chords on the guitar, but that's it. So now, does that... that must open up a lot of possibilities, though, where you guys can, even though you've been avoiding the trombone, Paul. I mean, whereas you guys
avoid it.
Well, but whereas you guys can do all this different stuff, I mean, that must really open the parameters for what you can do live. I mean, it must be very freeing to be in that kind of situation where it's not like a configuration where you've got everybody who just plays their one instrument and that's all they can do. I mean, that must give you a lot of freedom, I would think.
It's part of our thing.
We're pretty
Yeah.
loose. We're
Yeah.
pretty loose.
Yeah.
Styles-wise, too, we hit a lot of bases.
Yeah, that's really cool. How do you describe the Buskers for someone who, I mean, and, you know, obviously as far as style or genre, you know, you can cover a lot of bases, but I mean, how do you describe it for someone who's never heard you, who's asking?
We'd like somebody else to describe us for us, you know, so the listeners will have to do that. But the words that we often use, Americana, folk,
I think
roots.
the Americana thing is what we're going for.
Yeah.
Because that like includes things like folk and blues and jazzy. All those styles kind of
Yeah.
come together under that
Yeah, that's true.
Americana thing, which I think is a fairly new term, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean,
Well, you've got a lot of radio stations that now that's kind of become a big format, really, in the United States, is the Americana format, which does, you know, encompass a lot of different kinds of things, like you guys were saying. So yeah, I think that's a good term to use. Absolutely.
Yeah, each one seems to have a problem. You know, if you say folk, then it, you know, if when Paul pulls out an ES-335 or, you know, and we're playing rock and roll, it seems like, well, that doesn't quite fit. Or,
Right.
you know.
We are capable of rocking,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is kind
Well,
of...
we're on local Outbreak. I mean, we're got to make it rock. You know, did you see the gas mask image for the show? I mean, you know,
Hopefully that inspired you to rock.
definitely. Paul slung his guitar another foot lower for this
Nice.
interview. I want you to
turn
know
the amp
that
up another 3 notches.
to 13.
This goes to 13. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good. Well, why don't we play another track? What do you guys want to play?
Sure. She caught the Katy.
She Caught the Katy?
She caught the Katy and left me a mule to ride.
The cover by Taj Mahal.
Oh, okay. Very cool. All right. So the title is She Caught the Katy, not She Caught the Katy and Left Me a Mule to Ride?
Yeah, she caught the Katy. Well, we call it Katy most of the time.
All right.
I think the mule thing would come in parentheses.
In parentheses,
afterwards.
right?
That's
right.
the lyric.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just go with Katy for now. Sorry. So this is Katy,
I hope you like it.
as performed by the Buskers here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
My baby caught the Katy and she left me a mule to ride. My baby caught the Katy and she left me a mule to ride. My baby caught the Katy, left me a mule to ride. Freight train pulled out and I swung on behind. I'm crazy about that hard-headed woman of mine. My baby, she's long. Good gosh almighty, she's tall. My baby, she's long. Good gosh almighty, she's tall. My baby, she's long. My baby, she's tall. Sleep with her head in the kitchen, her big feet in the hall. And I'm crazy about that hard-headed woman of mine. Well, I love my baby, she's so fine. I wish she'd come around and see me sometime. You don't believe I love you. Look at the fool I've been. You don't believe I'm sinking, mama. Look at this hole
100.1 The Planet's local outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Local Outbreak, sponsored by Central NH Events here on 100.1 The Planet. I am Matt from IPMNation.com, and we're here with Craig and Paul from the Buskers. And do you guys, when you play live, is it mostly originals? Do you mix in a lot of covers, or what's... I mean, again, you seem to have a lot of flexibility with what you do live with your...
It depends on where we are.
Yeah.
We're capable of doing a whole original show.
Yeah.
4 sets of it.
But,
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
we like to mix in our influences too, because that's sort of where it's coming from, and most of the things that we cover fit with our originals,
sure,
in a kind of a seamless way. So we do that.
Do you know? Do you write out set lists ahead of time, or do you?
God, yes.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of instrument changing that happens in this band, and if I'm pulling out the accordion and I'm doing some loud, crazy Cajun tune, every time there's an instrument switch, that can slow things down unless you plan it out. So for that, I think that's one of the main reasons. Also, just to share power sharing, make the Soviet style of socialism where we everybody equal, and make sure Paul doesn't sing too many tunes in a row. Yeah.
If you don't go up there with a set list, then I guess what I'm saying is the set list kind of frees you.
Yeah.
You could follow it, or you can deviate from it.
Deviations,
but it's good to have it there to lean on if you need to.
Yeah.
And you can worry about other things like playing the tunes.
Yeah, as opposed to Paul, what do you want to play next?
That's one of mine.
If you can remember it.
How much original material do you guys have? Do you think? Do you know how many songs you have? Original songs? Probably a lot at this point, I would think.
We've got 3 CDs out, and most of it is original.
Really? Yeah.
We're songwriters. That was a great thing about Paul joining the band. We were talking about in the first segment. He's a great songwriter, so to have really strong songwriting along with the musicianship and all the different instruments we play and styles, it's I couldn't ask for more. Yeah.
As is, and KZ's starting to write some nice material.
She's become a writer under our benevolent influence.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, and becoming a good writer. She still struggles with lyrics sometimes. But she provides the beautiful, sweet melody tunes. But since she's not here, we don't got to play any of her originals.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's her problem.
She should have.
She should have driven over.
She could have.
Yeah.
It only would have been like $100 in gas or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's one of the joys of touring.
I know that part's rough these days. The price of gas. Do you guys write together, or do you write separately and then bring it in and?
Sometimes in our winter sessions, we've bounced ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
But pretty much, we keep our own. We take ideas and advice, but keep our own counsel.
Yeah.
Yeah. We break out a new tune, an unfinished tune, and ask for a little advice or like that.
Yeah.
We definitely collaborate on the arrangements, and that's a big part of it too.
Now, what about when you record? Do you work with a producer, or is it all DIY?
We produce our own stuff.
Yeah, that's good. From the beginning, like everything you guys have done, it's all self-produced?
Uh-huh.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Where do you record?
The last 2 albums we recorded at Blackwater Sound in Webster with Chris Westerman, and we're working on a new EP right now. Yeah, he's really great engineer, very compatible with us.
I've heard his name. I don't really know much about him, but I have heard his name positively.
I'm trying to think of other local bands. The Crunchy Western Boys record with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Joe Drukas did a lot of stuff with him.
Yeah,
really?
The late Joe Drukas, who I used to play with sometimes.
No kidding. Now, do you guys ever do solo stuff outside of the Buskers, or is it all
Hell yeah.
the Buskers do? Yeah. I suspected, yeah.
I do. Craig does.
Yeah.
I've done some recording with Matt Marshall down in Concord.
Tweak Sound and Mastering. I know Matt well. I know Matt
Tweakster.
well. Yep.
We met him when he was. I think I first met him when he was recording. I was playing at Hermanos down in Concord, one of my jazz trios. We also do a fair amount of jazz in addition to all this roots stuff.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Hammond organ trio.
Oh,
and that
no
kind
kidding.
of stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And this guy just shows up with a portable recording studio.
Yeah.
And I was cool with it. I was, oh, great, we'll get it. I'm sure it'll give us something. But the guy I was playing with, whose name I won't mention, was incensed that somebody would just record without asking.
Really?
And I don't know how that played out, but
that's funny.
I just put out an album too.
Yeah.
High Tide Will Come. That was all recorded with Matt.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, he's great. A lot of energy. Very kinetic kind of guy. Yeah.
Great ears.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Very creative. And his own stuff is great, too. I was the best man at his wedding, by the way, which has nothing to do with anything. But it's the only wedding I've ever been at where I was the best man, so I have a special bond with him.
It's an important position.
Yes. So where do we find the Buskers online in terms of, like, if someone wants to get your music? I assume you sell it at shows, obviously, right? But can we get it online too anywhere? Or
well, our website is thebuskers.com.
Okay.
It has to be the Buskers. If you just do Buskers, you end up in New Zealand somewhere.
Oh, that's no good. Well, unless you like New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand's pretty cool.
It's just so far away.
Right, exactly.
It's a long way to go for a gig at the amount we usually get paid.
So are all 3 albums available on the website?
Just the last 2. The first one isn't.
Okay.
But we have Ray's Vacation, which came out in 2004. And Spank That Tambourine, which came out in 2009.
Okay.
And we were working on the EP. That's one of the reasons we booked this date with you tonight, was because I thought by now I'd have it, if not mastered, at least fully mixed. But due to unforeseeable circumstances, including the death of a good friend of Chris Westerman,
really?
Suddenly things, one thing after another, and as usual with a recording project, we're a little behind.
Yeah.
But we're going to have that out
Chris
this summer.
is fine. It's Chris's friend.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. But you have an excuse to come back. We'll have to rebook you when the EP is done. So that's good.
Well, we're going to break out something. It's a rough mix, but I think it's mixed well enough to throw in today,
cool.
if you can.
Cool, absolutely. Well, why don't we hear that now? What's it called?
It's called Moving On.
Okay.
Moving on.
All right. So, and just to be clear, so this is going to be from the upcoming EP?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
This is the future of the Buskers.
Excellent. All right. This is like a world premiere. This is awesome.
And it's a rough mix still, so bear that in mind.
We'll keep that
folks.
in mind. I like rough mixes. I like that kind of thing. So, all right. So this is Moving On from the Buskers here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
I'm drifting to the left and I'm drifting to the right and I'm moving on. Yeah, I'm rolling down that line through the middle of the night and I'm moving on. I gotta shed some pounds, yeah, it's slowing me down and I'm moving on. I'm moving so fast, hardly touching on the ground and I'm moving on. Moving on between the darkness and the dawn. Moving on, moving on. Nowhere to go, but I gotta get there fast, so I'm moving on. You only get one shot, and you know it don't last, so I'm moving on. Rear view mirror only showing me the past, and it's moving on. Full speed ahead to someplace fast, and I'm moving on. Moving on between the darkness and the dawn. Moving
gift to bring, and it's moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, you look into the dark and you hope to see the light, and it's moving on. Meet me at the crossroads, midnight, and we'll be moving on. Moving on between the darkness and the dawn. Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet, sponsored by Central NH Events. By the way, if you need a DJ for your event, go to centralnhevents.com. There you will find Mr. Tim Martin. He does a phenomenal job. He'll show up. He'll DJ your event, your corporate function, your shindig. You guys like that word, shindig?
Yeah,
It's
There
kind
used to
of
be a TV show.
called shindig?
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
hootenanny.
Not everyone likes that. Ooh, hootenanny. See, I forgot about that word. Now you've given me something new. Tim will DJ your hootenanny for you. And he does a great job. CentralNHEvents.com. And he helps make this show possible because we are recording this using his equipment. And also want to remind everybody, too, if you like what you heard tonight or any of the shows that you want to check out, go to IPMNation.com/local outbreak, where all the shows are archived. So you can download them, stream them, relive the glory over and over. And
Good Lord.
yes, and tonight, of course, we
Hallelujah.
have Craig and Paul from the Buskers, and we want to remind. Oh, you guys were kind of talking off air about something that we should mention regarding the first track that we played.
Oh,
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse. Oh, yeah. We got. We made a video. We got a couple videos up on YouTube, which you can also access, through our website.
Okay.
But we did a version of this instead of the blues-tinged version that we just played for you all. We got Paul playing like a Piedmont style. What'd you call that?
It's a
Finger picking.
finger picking.
So we
nice.
I wouldn't call it
Hard finger
countrified.
picking.
I don't know what you call it. We took it up into the hills and slowed it down. And I think it kind of brought out the humor. But we had fun making that video.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And Matt did the live sound on that, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so
Matt
it was
Marcel, yeah.
rather than making a video to a pre-recorded thing, we just played it live as a trio, that one.
That's cool, and it's fun to hear alternate versions of stuff too. For a second there, I thought you were going to say you broke out the trombone.
Yeah, we got to have him do that. Because, we love the New Orleans
Someday,
influence. Get down, play some honking second line street music.
I'm getting closer to it. I'm feeling stronger about it.
Yeah, good.
Visualize. For a long time, I had these. I would have these dreams where I was on stage in front of all these people, and they were obviously waiting for me to do something, and all I had was my trombone.
And you didn't pick it up and you didn't play it? What kind of dream is that?
I was
That's interesting.
I wanted to have a guitar in my hands, but it was a trombone.
Yeah.
Just sit back on the couch and let Dr. Matt analyze your dreams. I'm sure he has some things to say about that.
And are you guys going to be playing a lot this summer?
Yeah, we're
Looks
touring
like it.
around the place.
Yeah.
We'll
New
be
York
here.
State, Vermont, New Hampshire. Our next batch of New Hampshire gigs are around Memorial Day weekend. This is our... We just played the Lebanon Opera House up north a couple of weeks ago, and
That was great.
Yeah, that was fun.
Nice.
And then, so late May, check out the tour page on thebuskers.com,
Excellent.
or
Okay.
like us on Facebook. There, as always, there are a few different bands with the name The Buskers, but we're the really good one with not enough likes.
Yeah, so come like us.
Absolutely. Excellent. And of course,
Thumbs up.
And if you go to thebuskers.com, you've got links to everything, right? The Facebook, the YouTube,
Oh, yeah.
like you said.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So thebuskers.com. So that makes it easy to find you guys.
You can't hardly not do any of that today. You'd be
Yeah.
invisible under the rug completely.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, it's social networking and all that. Extremely important. Guys, thanks a lot. This has been great.
Oh, it's been fun.
Craig
Thanks
and
for
Paul.
having us, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Absolutely. Thank you. And what do you guys want to play to wrap up the show? We'll play one more track.
Dog.
You dog, you devil.
You dog, you devil. All right. So this is, all right, I got to ask, is there a story behind this?
Well, I had a very sweet friend who heard the album Smack That Tambourine and just loved everything on it, but she was concerned about how dark you dog, like what is, and I just said, well, if you just think about it's a conversation with your own mind,
Yeah.
So I'm talking on to my mind in the song and telling it to keep itself where it belongs. Keep that dog in the kennel.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we know what goes on in Craig's mind.
That's
yeah,
right,
like
yeah.
it doesn't in yours. All right.
All right, very good.
Take it easy, you all out there in listener land. We hope to see you at a Buskers gig sometime if you like what
Absolutely.
you hear. All right.
Absolutely.
Good night, New Hampshire.
All right, don't forget to like the Facebook page. And all right, so this is You Dog, You Devil from the Buskers here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
You dog, you devil, you got me in trouble again. Said you were my friend, but I should have known better. You little devil, you're like a pebble in my shoe, like a bad tattoo. And I'm getting tired of covering it up. Now I want it removed. When I loaned you that fiddle, you told me it would only be just for a couple of days. But you went and pawned it, and now that it's gone, we're both left with nothing to play. Nothing to play. You dog, you devil, stop nipping at my heels. Thought we had a deal, but I should have known better. You dog, you devil, let's settle this right now. I don't know how. You take what I say and you tie it in knots, or you twist it around. When you pulled out a pistol and waved it around in my face, I thought I was toast. The gun wasn't loaded, but how could I know that was just your idea of a joke? Your sick idea of a joke. You dog, you devil, be careful what you say. It might come back and bite you someday. You little devil, you never will change. And there's nothing to gain by talking about it. I'll drive you to town, you can catch the last train. No doubt you'll try to wear me down till you've talked me round into letting you sleep on the floor. But I know that you locked me out on the cold, hard ground. Once you got your foot through the door, your big foot in the door, you can howl all night if you like, but outside's where you're gonna stay. And you'll come when I whistle someday. You dog, you devil, you'll come when I whistle someday.
100.1 The Planet's local outbreak with IPMNation.com.
The Planet's local outbreak with IPMNation.com is recorded weekly at the studios of 100.1 The Planet. It's hosted and engineered by Matt Connerton of IPMNation.com. It's edited and produced by Annie Biello of 100.1 The Planet. For details about the Planet's local outbreak, log on to WPNHFM.com for artist links, as well as the link for IPMNation.com/local outbreak, where you can check out previously aired episodes anytime and all the time of 100.1 The Planet's local outbreak. The Planet's local outbreak is brought to us by Labatt Blue. Good stuff awaits. Heat, Route 3 Weirs Beach, and CentralNHEvents.com. The Planet's local outbreak with IPMNation.com is a product of 100.1 The Planet. Locally owned and independently operated with Northeast Communications here in central New Hampshire.
IPMNation.com.